My name is Haley Ulrich. I am a student in the Masters of Science in Nursing program at National American University. Today I will be presenting my capstone project proposal, which is developing a guideline for telehealth nursing in the occupational health setting. All acknowledgement of citations and references will be submitted with this video in a PowerPoint presentation. First, the problem statement for my project was identified. Occupational health is challenged with identifying the needs of its organization and developing a health-promoting culture that meets those needs. The Capstone site preceptor identified the need for a guideline in telehealth nursing to assess if employees can be managed at home or if they need to be seen. 5 articles were reviewed in a systematic review of literature to support the use of telehealth in occupational nursing. Keywords used in this search were employee health nursing, occupational health nursing, telehealth nursing, telephone triage nursing, and telephone triage in occupational health nursing. The articles reviewed indicate that in order to provide effective telehealth services, nurses must use evidence-based, computer access decision support algorithms, clinical expertise, and critical thinking skills to provide medical advice. Next, any research study that involves human interaction must be reviewed to determine if Institutional Review Board approval is needed. The Institutional Review Board was developed to ensure study participants are treated ethically. The IRB determines whether participants give voluntary consent, understand risks and benefits, and know that they have the option to stop at any time. This capstone project will be reviewed by the National American University School of Nursing Capstone Committee. The following forms are included in the capstone project: the MSN Practicum Guidelines regarding Practicum Site and Preceptor, Institutional Review Board and Capstone Project Application, Capstone Project Checklist, Confidentiality Statement, and Project Site Permission. Another element of the IRB is informed consent. This is the legal principle that governs the patient's choice to accept or deny interventions and regulates participation in research. This capstone project does not require informed consent from its participants. The participant involvement contains minimal to no risk. This project consists of anonymous surveys that will be given in the workplace, allowing confidentiality, and will not impose on non-work time. The next section is the theoretical framework that was chosen for the capstone project. This capstone project will be implemented using the adult learning theory developed by Malcolm Knowles. Knowles identified adult learning as andragogy to differentiate adults from children, pedagogy. The characteristics of this theory are that mature adults are self-directed, use experience as a resource for learning, are ready to learn and grow orientation to developmental tasks, apply knowledge that is increasingly tied to application and problem solving, they are internally motivated to learn, and have a need to know why learning is needed. This theory fits with this capstone project as the participants are nurses with varied work experiences. The participants do not have telehealth experience in the occupational health setting and identify the need for a guideline. Adults commit to learning when the goals are perceived as important, useful, and relevant to their career needs. The next section talks about methodology. Quantitative methodology will be used for this capstone project. The purpose of quantitative research is to aid in the systematic solution of the research question and the ability to maintain control. The quantitative method that will be used is a pre- and post-intervention survey. This is a correlational design, reviewing the data to determine whether there are relationships between the research variables, which are education and confidence and education and knowledge. The null hypothesis states that there is no actual relationship between the research variables. The alternative hypothesis 1 would be that there is a positive relationship between variables. This means that the participants' learning and confidence would increase from pre to post intervention. The alternative hypothesis 2 would be that there is a negative relationship among the variables. This means that the participants' learning would decrease from pre to post intervention. A Likert scale and close-ended questions will be used pre and post intervention to assess if there are any relationships between variables. The sample size of this project includes all of the nurses at the Capstone site. This sample is small as there are 17 nurses at this site. Using the a priori calculator with an effect size of medium, or 0.5, a statistical power level of 0.8, and a probability level of 0.05, it is recommended that the total sample size be 128 participants. This is a limitation of this project in that the results may not be generalized. The surveys will be distributed to the participants at the worksite. These will be kept anonymous and completed during work time to avoid disrupting breaks or other non-work activities. The data for this project will be evaluated using descriptive statistics. This method describes and summarizes data using measures of central tendency. These measures describe the pattern of responses and provide the distribution of answers from the survey. The pre and post intervention survey answers will be placed into a frequency distribution chart. The answers from pre to post intervention will be compared to determine if there is a relationship between the variables. Next, key resources were identified to complete this project. There will be no financial burden with this capstone project. The MSN student already possesses an established email, home computer and internet, and cellular phone. The following resources are available at the Capstone Project site. These include a meeting room to conduct surveys and introduce the guideline, a desk or table to review survey results and develop the guideline, a computer with internet and email access, Microsoft Word and Excel spreadsheets, a copy machine, paper and ink, stapler and staples, notebook, pens, and pencils. Another key resource is the MSN preceptor. The preceptor will have an estimated 15-hour time requirement with the student. The breakdown of that interaction is as follows. Review and signing of capstone documents, 1 hour. Text and telephone communication, 2 hours. Email communication, 2 hours. Initial project review meeting, 1 hour. Observe project implementation, 4 hours. Intermittent meetings to review guideline progress, 4 hours. And a final meeting upon the capstone project completion and evaluation, 1 hour. The capstone preceptor is the nursing education specialist in the employee and community health setting. This site is under the Department of Nursing at Mayo Clinic, Rochester, Minnesota. This institution values education for its employees, encouraging continuing education and offering reimbursement for tuition. According to the MSN preceptor, the site's culture is very open to this project. The nursing supervisor and the nursing education specialist have identified the need for this project and have notified the participants. The nursing supervisor and nursing education specialist are the formal leaders at this site. Formal leaders intentionally influence others to accomplish a goal. The MSN student will be seeking aid from the formal leaders as well as informal leaders that will assist with project implementation. Informal leaders consist of a network of people that make things happen through subtle power and influence. It is important to identify informal leaders as a resource as they support changes and coordinate group efforts among peers. That concludes my capstone project proposal. Thank you.